The nation's economic crisis has permanently changed the landscape of local governance. Throughout the country, officials are searching for answers and looking for solutions. Studies indicate that nationwide, many local officials still see the downturn as temporary, deferring long-term structural reforms in favor of short-term, stopgap measures and hoping for an economic rebound. In Camden County, New Jersey, the Board of Freeholders is bucking this trend by tackling long-term structural change head-on through the Camden County Transformation Initiative, perhaps the most significant effort in the county's history to consolidate services, streamline operations, and reduce the cost of government. Now, while the Board of Freeholders has built a track record of cost-cutting and tax cuts, the dramatic impact of the national financial crisis, and particularly its impact in Camden County, led them to the conclusion that they needed to do more in the way of reforms and more permanent structural changes necessary to match the intensity of the economic crisis and the new world that it represented.
We must find ways to save dollars wherever we can and deliver services in a more efficient manner. So rather than acting as several different corporations, the county and all of its autonomous agencies are acting as one single corporation to find efficiencies, to find savings, whether it be sharing of legal offices, sharing of purchasing departments, sharing of payroll departments. We need to find ways to become more efficient, and we need to be creative doing so.
Here's what we mean. In Camden County, those departments that come under the day-to-day management of the Board of Freeholders are supported by a centralized operating infrastructure. This infrastructure also supports a number of state-chartered organizations and 3 elected row officers. So this portion of the county government is served by a consolidated support system. However, within the umbrella of county government, there are 8 affiliated organizations that operate independently and in many cases have their own business support functions. These organizations have historically been run independent of the freeholder-managed business infrastructure. Consolidation of these functions with the freeholder-managed units is the focus of the Transformation Initiative. The 8 affiliates include the Board of Social Services, the Health Services Center, Camden County College, Camden County Library Commission, Camden County Technical Schools, the Camden County Improvement Authority, Camden County Municipal Utilities Authority, and the Camden County Pollution Control Financing Authority. In 2010, these organizations collectively consumed approximately 16% of the county budget, or about $51 million. County funding represents about 5% of the overall revenue of these units, with other supporting revenue coming from sources such as fees, tuition, and state aid. How did this structure come to be? For more than a century, county government grew and diversified to meet the changing needs of its people. Over time, authorizing legislation at the state level produced a number of special-purpose organizations designed to meet these needs. For example, the roots of Camden County's Health Services Center, a modern, skilled, and long-term care center with a behavioral health facility, reach back to the 1800s. In the 1920s, a vocational high school was created to meet the emerging needs for skilled craftsmen. In 1932, the Depression produced the Old Aged Assistance Program, precursor to the Welfare Office and today's Board of Social Services. In 1966, a nearly forgotten county library in the basement of the county courthouse was revived with a new commission, which appointed a professional librarian who embarked on what is today's county-wide library system, serving many communities in Camden County. A year later, in 1967, Camden County College emerged out of the nationwide movement for community college education. During the environmental movement of the 1970s, regional sewage treatment was initiated with the creation of the Camden County Municipal Utilities Authority. And then in 1974, the freeholders created the Pollution Control Financing Authority. Finally, in 1979, Camden County Improvement Authority was created, and in 1992 was designated as the county's lead economic development agency and financing authority. While all of these organizations were the result of well-intentioned actions and documented needs, they also produced independent, fragmented administrative silos with little to no interaction with their colleague agencies in county government. So, on February 18, 2009, the Camden County Transformation Initiative was born. Symbolic of the new perspective on the management of county government, the freeholders turned to one of the most valuable resources, Camden County College, and the college's Center for Civic Leadership and Responsibility, and formed a partnership to pursue reform.
The center is an institution designed to both inform the public and to give the public an opportunity to discuss important issues in American society with both scholars and office holders. We also hope that the center will be a place where new ideas generate to improve government and to improve American society in general.
Louis Bezich, the college's Vice President of Administrative Services, was named Principal Investigator. Mr. Bezich is a former county administrator with experience in public policy and management. The study has largely been conducted using a team drawn from within the county without the use of high-priced outside consultants.
The purpose of the Transformation Initiative is to cut costs and improve efficiency. We do this in two ways. First, we look at business practices which are common in both the freeholder-managed departments and those organizations within the umbrella of county government that traditionally have operated independently. And we see if there's any potential for consolidation. These are things like information technology, procurement, carrier services, facilities management, things of those sort. The second thing we do then is to take that model and extend it to direct service areas, things like education or healthcare, which a couple of different organizations administer. In the end, what we do is we take a fragmented, antiquated administrative structure, we update it with more contemporary business practices, and that's how we cut costs and make life more efficient.
First-year research produced a number of significant findings and confirmed the potential to save through the enactment of reforms.
I was put in charge of the purchasing to see if what commodities we purchase together, how we run our organizations, if there's commonality, if there are differences, and just to get a better understanding of what we all do. We all pick up trash. We all need janitorial supplies. We all need security services. So different commodities that we all procure separately, we now are procuring together.
There's been three significant findings. One, that there's commonality in our business practices. Despite the diversity of services that we provide, everything from sewage treatment to higher education, that when it comes to our business practices, we're all very similar. And that lends itself to consolidation and potential to save money. Secondly is our geographic proximity. Our placement throughout the county and our, frankly, close proximity lends itself to consolidation and shared services model. And third, and perhaps most significantly, is the fact that we've got a lot of potential to save money. Our research shows that we might be able to save in excess of $10 million annually, and we think that's significant.
First of all, the willingness of everybody to participate in Camden County, the cooperation has been unprecedented, and everybody's working together because everybody here is a taxpayer. Everybody wants to save taxes, whether you work for the government or not. So I'm very pleased with the results thus far.
What's been most impressive so far is the commitment of our team members, their willingness to take ownership, engage in the tedious research that's been necessary, and really commit to the project. For example, let me tell you about a guy named Gene Press. Gene's been leading our effort to look at consolidation of carrier routes. And his performance is indicative of the kind of commitment that I'm talking about. Gene has studied the carrier routes. He's rode in the vans with the various carriers. He's measured gasoline usage. He's checked mileage. He's really gone all the way to understanding the issue and coming up with recommendations to save us money. Gene cares about every penny that's being spent. He's committed to his project, and he's the kind of guy that exemplifies the hard work and commitment that's going into this project.
Now, while the focus of the initiative is understandably on the money, project leaders have stressed the need for institutional reform as a means to ensure long-term success and realization of the huge potential offered by consolidation.
I think the long-term benefits are clearly what you're looking for is efficiency and cost savings, and government has a responsibility to taxpayers to look for those things. With the taxes we face in this state, there's really, to me, no option but for government to be doing things like this, to always look at, hey, we can save money here, we can save money there. Some will say, hey, some of this stuff may be low-hanging fruit. Well, that doesn't mean that fruit shouldn't be picked.
The centerpiece of the effort is a new view of county governance, one that confronts economic realities and changing taxpayer demands, one that views county government as an affiliation of several organizations with a common mission, and one that works to break down bureaucratic and territorial barriers of the past.
This is the wave of the future for the county and for the agencies. I think we realize that we have a lot more in common than we thought. I think we can be more efficient. I think we can save the taxpayers a lot of money by joining forces together.
When this economy gets back on track, that is the opportunity for us to begin returning to the taxpayers, hopefully through lower taxes, some of the savings that we are realizing.
As both a journalist and a county resident who pays taxes here, my hope would be that they would continue on with this process and would continue to look for bigger and bigger things and bigger avenues to save more amounts of money.
Administratively, the future of Camden County looks much different than it does today. It's one where traditional bureaucratic, fragmented models of administration are replaced by more contemporary business models that are based on a holistic approach and a holistic view of county government. It's one where redundancies are replaced by consolidated systems. It's one where we have less agencies because we consolidate at that level. In essence, it's long-term institutional reform built on contemporary business models, not on historic precedent. And I think that's what's going to lend itself to value for the taxpayers, a platform moving forward, and a good future for Camden County.
Based on a process rooted in transparency, communication, and a shared vision, Camden County, New Jersey is creating a new model for county governance, one that can be replicated in other local jurisdictions. Leading by example, the Board of Freeholders are setting out on a new course which will carry Camden County through the challenges of today and into a new model for tomorrow.